Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Bellingham on a beautiful day. We're going to start our service with two songs, I Start My Day and I'm Choosing Heaven Today. So they're in your bulletin, so stand and let's sing. I start my day with love, I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. I start my day with love, when I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 peace. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel the sweet release of peace. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel the sweet release of peace. Let's hear ya. Peace, 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 joy. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. You sound joyous. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. I start my day with love, I start my day with peace, I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love, I start my day with peace, I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. Beautiful. You sound all warmed up. Let's sing I'm Choosing Heaven Today. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing love today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing love today. Wonder. I'm choosing wonder today. I'm choosing wonder today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing wonder today. Joy. I'm choosing joy today. I'm choosing joy today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing joy today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing joy today. All right. Woo!
In the beginning was the one presence of the undivided and unmanifest pure spirit of life, light, and love. In its generosity, it shared itself, its consciousness, and its love in the visible form of creation, We acknowledge this presence within us and as us. The creative energy of the divine feminine and masculine expressing in all our giftedness and creativity. We acknowledge this in our companion, Mother Earth, and all sentient beings. This universal presence in everything we call the Christ. We light this candle as a visible reminder of the Christ presence expressing in, as, and through us in this present moment now. It is the truth. Let us own it. Good morning. How is everybody today? Hey, let's give it a go. Yeah. We can feel it. Yeah, that's great. Okay. So let's see. We're going to do our time of greeting, and we'll be standing and greeting one another. You can do a handshake or a wave, but the first thing you do when you stand up is turn around and say hello to everybody online because they love that. So let's take a moment to greet one another. Okay. Well, welcome everybody to Unity. We are a joyful, evolving spiritual community committed to spiritual practices, compassionate service, and living on purpose. This is our mission, and so let us own it. So I want to also say hello to anybody who might be here for the first time. And if you are, we do have welcome packets, so we want to thank you for being here today. Is there anybody here for the first time? Oh, well, thank you. Oh, nice. Okay, so we'll make sure and say hi. There is like coffee time afterwards and good treats too. So, yeah. In our music ministry today, we have Cheryl Hodge and our beloved JP Falcon Grady. Okay. So let's take a moment to become centered, and we're going to say our 5 principles together. So take a nice, gentle, easy breath in and together. God is good and present in all things. The holiness of God is my own true nature. I am creating my experiences by how I think. My thinking is guided by my daily affirmative prayers and affirmative actions. I follow and am sustained by these values in every way, every day, and so it is.
Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say Amen. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us.
As we gather to pray, know that we join together in prayer. We send out the waves of good, of joy and healing feelings and thoughts. Together we join in unity to affirm that our thoughts and feelings for ourselves are positive and compassionate. When we allow this self-care first, we are more able to send the same goodness to others that we love. First, let's take a moment to affirm within the strong, healthy cells within our own body, to affirm you are joined with spirit and feel emotionally balanced. This is doing the work for yourself so you can be present for others. So now we gather in a unified group and send love and blessings out to those in our own county, our state, our country, to those in other lands that need support. And we offer blessings to Mother Earth. If you would like to bless someone you know in need of prayer, feel free to speak their name out loud. And so it is. We say this in joy and prayer together. Amen. So now I'll invite you into a time of meditation as we go deeper into relaxation. This is your time to relax and renew. Begin by breathing deeply, slowly, at your own pace. As you breathe, your body and mind begin to relax, settle, and allow well-being. It feels good to relax and allow your natural state of well-being. In these moments of meditating together in unity, Spirit is divinely alert and active in each of us. Feel the presence of oneness within your own body. Breathe in. We are in the flow of love. Affirm to yourself, I feel love. I feel the flow of love all around me. We are in the flow of well-being. Affirm to yourself, I feel well-being in my body and mind. We are in the flow of allowing support. Affirm to yourself, I allow myself to be supported. Breathe in. We are in the flow as one, here and now. Life has a flow, a river of universal energy that lives within all. Affirm within, I trust the flow of life, of universal energy within me and all around me. We are in the flow of spirit. Affirm to yourself, I feel spirit within. Anything and everything is possible for me to achieve. Take a moment in this time of unity, in the flow of Source Divine, to listen, or perhaps to ask something that feels important. Breathe in. Use your breath to stay in the flow of oneness with Spirit. As we meditate together, we become one in the flow of life, of the energy that created all. Each of us are points of light and love. Together, we become a bright nebula flowing love and light to all living creation. As you go forward into this day and the next, use the spiritual practice of being in the flow of Spirit Divine. It feels good and it's fun to play and create with Spirit. And so it is. Amen.
Good morning. I had a dream. There was a night painted in blue. What a lovely color, this blue. And I stood the shore, sang my song, and as you spun around and around, I called to my angel, sang to the moon, I called to the sun, give me warmth, oh you. I had a dream. There was a night painted in red. What a fiery red this red. And in the night, diamonds light the night. It's your smile, childlike smile that blinds. And as I spun around and around, I called to my angel, sang to the moon, I called to the earth, give me love, oh you. She said, run like the wind, I will take you there. Dance like the youth, I will take you there. And pray with your elders, I will take you there. I swear I'll take you there, yeah. I had a dream. There was a night painted with rhythm. Feel it in the bone. I stood the shore, sang my songs, and as we spun around and around, I called to my angel, sang to the moon, I called to the sun, I called to the earth, and I called from my heart, said I know you, I know you, I know you, I know you, know you, know you, I know you.
Love how the songs work into the talk. Paying attention to my angels and the sun and the earth and the moon our children and our grandparents and each other, paying attention. What did they do? They sang a song, just opened up his heart and paid attention in this song. Oh, it's just perfect. The thought for this Sunday was we're right about middle of the winter. I mean, it's kind of feels like spring out a little bit, although I think the little bit more winter is yet to come, and at least in that feeling. And my thought was, let's not let winter get by without learning and feeling into and holding on to some of the lessons that winter shares with us, that time of seemingly silent, a seemingly time where not a lot's happening, seeming that you go out and you don't see the green or the blue or the changing leaves of fall or the verdancy of summer. It's a time of wait. Just be still for a minute. Let's listen. Let's pay attention to what is seemingly inactive, but actually is very active. Actually, there is a lot going on right now out there in the northern hemisphere, what we call winter. There is a lot happening in the seeming time where nothing's happening, and yet there is so much happening. I found a person, her name is, we call Simone Weil, in her language is Simone Weil. I think it was French. She's a philosopher in France. Someone I read many years ago, and someone told me she was important, and I read it and went, I don't get it, and put it aside. And then, you know how it goes, years later, you go, wait a second, I got that. Yeah, maybe I'm starting to see. And there's a lot to her, and she talked a lot about, she was this woman at a time where these philosophy schools in France were mostly men, but there was a couple women who joined because they were just so brilliant. They were recognized, and she came in and she was sort of top of her class, and they thought she'll be a great professor and she'll go out and she'll do great things and write books. She died actually in her early 30s. She didn't get to do that, but she wrote, and then she said, wait a second. And this was the time of postmodernism and existentialism and Marxism and a lot going on. And she started looking and she said, we write a lot about, the workers' rights, but we're all in the ivory tower writing about workers. How do workers really feel? So she left academia and she sort of went incognito and she got a job at I think it was a Peugeot plant. She just became a worker. She said, if I want to write about it, I need to just feel it, experience it, know what it feels like before I write about something. Let me just pay attention to what it is I'm really talking about, what I'm really writing about. And she came out, and there was the Spanish Civil War, and she said, what does that feel like? What is that like? And so she quit that, and she went and she joined some troop in the Spanish Civil War to fight for the freedom fighters, if you will. And, apparently she was pretty nearsighted, and she tried to get a gun, and they'd take it away from her, go, just you go over here and, do something else. And she eventually got burned. She stepped in a fire or something, and I've read conflicting reports. And she had to leave, and she was still writing about this sense of attention. And she was like an educator, and she's saying, we got to pay attention to what's going on in the world. We got to pay attention to our mathematical problems. And the more we stop being so distracted, but we pay attention, it opens up whole new levels of understanding, whole new levels of possibility, and whole new levels of how we expand ourselves as a human being. But after she got burned, her parents came. I always thought this is funny. It's like, what are you doing, dear? Well, I'm in the Spanish Civil War, and I burnt myself. We'll be right there. We'll get you. And so anyhow, it was kind of interesting. Her wealthy parents go and get her, and they say, you need to recover. We're going to take you to Assisi, where Francis and Claire Assisi, a very potent spiritual center to my mind on planet Earth. And she goes to Assisi, and then she leaves the big town, and she goes way down, and she goes into this little cathedral that was inside this big church, and it's called the place of where Francis and Claire used to pray. And she goes in, and she has this mystical experience to which I never knew, and I've looked it up, and I've tried to say, well, what exactly happened? And all we know is she went to Assisi, and she changed. Something happened. She got that download. She touched a little bit of heaven there. And she realized all this stuff she wrote about, which she meant in the material world, and she wrote about things about the issues of monetary funding for the day and Marxism and the labor right and stuff, and all fine, all good, great. We need people to do that. And then she came back and she said, wait, attention means paying attention to the divine. And all her writings all of a sudden changed. And this whole thing about attention was pay attention to God. And she said, I want to make sure I get this quote right. I wrote it down. Attention is the rarest and purest form of generosity. Of generosity. And she said, if you want to pay attention to the divine and want to pay attention to God, then pay attention to each other. Pay attention. Pay attention. One time when I was living in Houston and there was a hurricane. So they said, I was right on the Gulf Coast. So I had to go inland. We all evacuated. And I went up to a place in Houston. It's a place I knew. It's another story. I had done work there. It was called a Catholic worker house. It was a house for refugees from people who were leaving the wars in El Salvador and Guatemala and fleeing. And many people came to the United States and fleeing the wars at the time. This was in the 80s and the 90s, and we remember maybe this history. And this was a house, Casa Juan Diego. And Casa Juan Diego took in refugees from many different places, and I went, well, I'm a refugee. I'll go there. I had done work there before and volunteered there, so I thought I can go find a place to sleep on the couch for a couple of days. So I drive up to Houston. I get away from the hurricane, California, Houston, the hurricane. And I'm in there, and I'm sitting, and I'm having some tamales, of course. You always have tamales. And this lady came up to me, and she sat down, and she had a baby. And she started talking, and I just gave her my attention. And she told me the story how she had left and she'd walked across Mexico with the baby, and she was just trying to find a place for safety, and she'd lost her husband, her partner, and she lost her family, and she was pretty poor, and what the tragedies were, where she came from. And she just told me and she was tearing up, and and she put her hand out and I held her hand. I just gave her this attention. And she just left, and I was so touched by this. And of course, the reason I know what she said is I turned to the lady behind me who'd been listening. She was washing dishes. I said, what did she say? I don't speak a word of Spanish. Not a word at this time in my life. I didn't know a single word this lady told me. I only know what she told me because the lady translated for me later. I said, what happened to her? But in that moment, I had no agenda of giving her advice. No agenda of telling her what she should do or what she could do. I had no story in my own head about what her story was. I wasn't translating what she was doing to what I would do, and I wasn't, asking her questions. I had no intellectual connection with this woman at all. I had no idea what she was saying. I just paid attention. And it wasn't just listening, there's listening like hearing when we do it with our ears, right? We hear the words, we translate, we know what the words say. There's a certain level of human hearing. And then there's the hearing behind the hearing. The listening that's another level deeper than the listening. It's the listening where, I got the words, but did I get to that place behind the words? Did the heart touch the heart? Did I see you? Yeah, I know I can see you and I know who you are, but can we see the person beyond the person, the subtle energy of the divine and the Christ presence that's beyond what seems to be showing up in appearance? The eyes, can we see with the eyes behind us? Can we hear with the ear behind the ear? Can we feel in our hearts the energy that's going on with the heart that's just right there, the subtle heart that's behind the heart, not the heart that's pumping the blood, but the heart that resonates in compassion and understanding and connection to the fact that you think that's your story. It's my story. It's our story. This isn't just your story and my story. It's our story. And we're in this not only in a physical community, which is the truth in the physical plane, but we're in this in the unity spiritual community that's the truth in the subtle energy that's behind the physical. It's like we have 10 senses. We have the senses that we know what seemingly are here in the physical, and behind them all, we have a subtle sense that takes that next. It's that connection into the heaven sense of things, that realm of heaven that Jesus talked about, that other sense that we live in. And it's not like you live in either or. This isn't an either or thing. To have the senses that are heavenly senses, that are spiritual senses, that the sense of the divine, it's like a nested doll. It's like one in the other, and they come through in both, and we can show up both and at the same time, fully human, but fully human in both the fact that we're here, and that's good, and we're in this physical world, but also that we have a sense of heaven, this realm of heaven, and it's not somewhere else, and it's not where we go, we die. Jesus never said that. It's now. Look, it's here. Here it is. Hello? Hello? So he tells stories, right? So I don't get it. What are you talking about? Tell me a story. So Jesus never said, well, here's where you go. Here's the road, and here's how you get there. When you die, you'll go somewhere. No, it's the realm of heaven, the heavenly place that is just a place that we pay attention to. We pay attention. One of the stories that this is a good one. People say, we don't get what you're talking about heaven. What do you mean? What do you mean? So he says, let me tell you a story. One time there was a big wedding feast, and these 10 women decided to go to the feast. Now what happens, you go and you get ahead, and the big bridal party's out doing something. Maybe they're taking pictures afterwards, and it takes a long time, and you're like, well, you want to go to the party? But they're taking pictures, and you know how it goes. And you have to wait. And so the 10 women, they go and they have lamps. And they bring the lamps, and they just have to sit there. And when the wedding party comes, they trim up the lamp, and the light comes on, and they go in the party, and they all have a lamp. And that's what you need to do. So they all go ahead, but unfortunately, 5 of them, they kept their lamps light. They were talking. They were staying up. The others, they trimmed it back. They monitored their energy. They tried to make sure they had enough oil. And then the bridal party comes, and it's midnight. And they show up and the party's about to begin. And the ones who weren't paying attention had left their lights burn, and they were out of oil. So they said, oh my gosh, they talked to the other 5, and they said, you guys give us some extra oil. I'm like, oh, we've been saving ours. This is all we need. We got to go. You better go into town and see if you can get some more. So the 5 were out of oil, go to town, and when they come back, the door's locked, and it's too late. They missed it. They missed that chance. They missed that opportunity. Opportunity to what? To see, to listen, to be present, to pay attention. That opportunity that comes along, that opportunity for that moment of heavenly connection, they missed it. Anyhow, and the story goes, so they came up and they say, give us some more. So they go in and there's the party, and Jesus ends the story and he says, you don't know the time or place, so pay attention. Attention. Now I'm thinking, I told Diane, I need a prop, because do we have any of those old oil lamps? And she's like, no, we got rid of those. They stink, man. We don't have any of those. But I thought, if Jesus was to tell the story again today, they would make sure you charge it before you go. Bring some batteries. Have you gone camping before? You pull out the light and you put it on the picnic table. It's like, you charged it, right? I thought you were going to charge it. I didn't charge it. Where's the batteries? I don't know. Charge your lamp. That's it. So, and here's the thing. It's really easy to do. Instructions. Plug it in. It's not, and it's funny. It's not a tremendously hard thing. I thought if you told the story, maybe Jesus would have said. So they all had a cell phone. And the way you got in is you got your reservation number. So the 10 people, they go to the party, and they're all waiting for the reservation number. Well, 5 of them are over here, on Netflix, and they're checking their email, and they're just spinning it down, and, I'm watching another thing, and YouTube. And the others, put it on, they turn off Bluetooth, and they put it on low battery load. And they're like, I want to be ready, so when I get the chance, when the bing, your reservation's ready, then I'm like, I'm ready. I want to talk about that in a second. How do we be ready? But it's kind of fascinating. Let's talk about being ready. I'll jump into this. Oh, I want to tell you something about this story, because this is what's really neat. It's interesting, but before I go on to that, 10 people, 10 women waiting, and 5 is usually the number. You always see this in parables 5, which means you're talking about 5 senses. Isn't it interesting that Jesus says 10, right? The eye and the eye behind the eye, the ear and the ear behind the ear, the heart and the heart behind the heart. It's like both your full senses and your subtle spiritual senses all need to be ready. And if any of them miss it, then the whole fullness of it all, it can't be ready. So it's like pay attention. And the wedding party is, what is the wedding party? And it's like this is it. This is the heaven. This is the kingdom of heaven. This is the realm of that spiritual realm. And what happens at the spiritual realm? That's where the party is. This is funny. Like some people used to think, well, the not being spiritual, that's where the fun is. And spiritual, it's like, up in heaven, pling, pling, playing harps. It just seems so boring. It's just the opposite. It's just the opposite. The non-heavenly stuff just can be monotonous and the same and the day to day. And here's what I know what I'm doing. I'm alive and everything, and I know what I'm doing, but what's new and happening. And then you break up into this heaven world, into this party banquet. That's where the party is. That's where the excitement is. That's where the possibilities are. That's where potentialities are. That's where the love is. That's where the connection is. That's where when our hearts break open, and it's also where broken hearts are. But it's where hearts are. It's where the goodness of hearts are. It's where the fullness of the life is when we go to the wedding feast, and we get in because we got our phones on and we're paying attention. How do we pay attention? Well, one of the ways, and there's many. But I just want to point, and it's something we talk about here, and we practice here. Every Sunday we take just a little piece of prayer, and we take just a little piece of a meditation, like Shari led us through today, talking about being in the flow. And this is where this is all going. Paying attention is we pay attention so we can keep in the flow of things. There's a way of, we talk about what is meditation. There's a lot of things in meditation, Many of us has practiced or know about, it's like Zen or Buddhist practice, or a practice you might have learned at an ashram, or a different kind of from Eastern and from Western. But one of the interesting things in Western is the centering prayer, Christian centering prayer. And this is an ancient thing, and it's sort of been brought back by Thomas Keating, and it was so fun. I was looking at a CD. Jonathan let me borrow it, and he says, "Oh, you got to watch this." And it was like Ken Wilber, who's about integral theory, in conversation with this Trappist monk, Father Thomas Keating. And I watched this back and forth, and there was a little piece at the end where Thomas Keating goes, "Let me tell you about Christian centering prayer." I went, "Oh, thank you, Jonathan. This is good." And in Christian centering prayer, it's very similar to what we know, I think, about meditation. But how do we pay attention? And one of the things it says is, before you go to prayer, before you sit into the silence, pick a word, one word, and that's your anchor. And you can choose the word. It's not anything one special word. But I thought, and I've been trying it because I did Whitestone, and I have a word, an anchor word. And I didn't connect this before. We've done Whitestone all these years, and we talked about Whitestone. But I have a word. And so my experiences go into a time of silence and go into meditation and say, this word is my rock. And this word is going to keep me centered. And when thoughts come and they go, and stories come in, which they do, that's fine. That's what our minds do. And I go back, get my word. What is that word? And I could change that word, but I've been using my Whitestone. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about with Whitestone, you can see me after we did a Whitestone ceremony. We all have a word. Spirit gave us a word. And so paying attention is like, oh, there goes my mind drifting. Go back to my word. Okay, I'm focused. Now my mind, I'm back to the word. Focus. Oh, now I'm thinking, what am I going to do? No, back to the word and focus. And we can use anchor points to help us pay attention because we're human, and this is what our minds do. They float and they move around and they get jittery. And so not only for doing basic things and basic things of life, but also for connecting into that place of the spiritual realm, of the place of heaven. And we want to connect and we want to be aware. We can practice the practice of paying attention and use your words. And for those of you who don't know, by the way, put in a little plug, on Wednesday mornings at 10 to 11, there's a group of people, and we sit right in here in this room and light a candle and close the shades, and we have a time of prayer. There's some music, and it's just silence. One beautiful, lovely hour of just quiet. And if an hour seems too long, if you have any time on Wednesday mornings and you want to do it in community, you can walk in for 10 minutes and leave. Whatever works. I see a lot of you who attend that centering prayer, that quiet prayer, that meditation prayer. And there's something also of value I love to be at home and meditate by myself and center by myself and pay attention by myself. But how wonderful and so verdant, it's like life-giving when I do it with Diane. When we come together and the two of us, and it creates another level of energy. And when we're in Sunday morning and we're together and we're all praying together in the same, do you feel it? Do you sense the difference when we're together? And when, and all the traditions know this, and we come and we sit, just this power of being in attentive energy together. It just like magnifies where two or more are gathered. I was thinking of prayer. I was thinking I was reading, thanks, George said, let's talk about Jesus Christ Heals. And so I went, yeah, I need to read that book again. And I have all sorts of notes in it where I read it 8 years ago, but did I read this really? I underlined it. Did I remember that? And so much about the healing energy happens when we can pray for ourselves alone, but bring it to community. Amplify the energy of the prayer. Amplify the energy of the love and the heart and knowing we are connecting to the realm of heaven, where in that realm of heaven that time, it doesn't work like I'm sick and here's a thing and here's a time where we're going to move towards some kind of healing. The healing, it's synchronistic. We pray and it's done. It can just show up. We pay attention to that heavenly realm and what we need. It's now, it's done. And Fillmore says it's done. You might not notice it for a minute, a day, a month, a year. Charles Fillmore says you might not notice it. The fact that your prayer is heard and that power and that healing is done may take place in a century. And I went, a century? I'm not even here. It's like, yeah, but the energy, the prayer, it's spontaneous, and it can happen for not only you, but for your parents, for your children, for your grandchildren, for your great-grandparents. It is a spontaneous thing that time, it gets a little wiggy here, the way we think of it linear. It's spontaneous, and we pay attention, and it's not like time goes like this. It's time is all over. It's heavenly time is different. It is now. And now is also 100 years from now. We think that's linear. But it is now. It is happening. And it is assured, and we can rest in it. We ask for healing, and it just rest in that healing. It's now. I got a beautiful phone call. Diane hurt her wrist. Someone left a message and said, "Don't worry, sweetie, you're healed." Don't worry, sweetie, you're healed. You are healed. And it is the truth, the heavenly truth now. Now, it still might be a few weeks before you get out of the cast, but the healing is assured in this present moment, and we can pay attention to that heavenly impetus, that heavenly healing, what's going on right now in this present, and know the truth of it. We just have to connect and pay attention to that connection. And then we're in the flow of things. And I want to end with it's a thing that's Taoist that we learned it from, and Shari, in the meditation, it was said so beautifully. It's a sense of this now energy when we're in this flow and we're paying attention, and it's like being water, and we're just flowing in the channel. We're in that energy where the eye's behind the R's, and we're just seeing, we're opening, and then we're flowing with that spiritual energy. I mean, we talk about being plugged in. Ernest Holmes, I was reading this morning. Ernest Holmes is saying, you think about where does the energy come from? You're always this thing in our hearts, this spiritual energy. We are plugged into spirit, and we are never unplugged from spirit. You can't pull the plug out. It's always there. We just need to go pay attention. Oh, there it is. Like, turn on your phone, man. You're plugged in, right? We just need to focus on it. And then we get into this flow, and the Tao they call wu wei. Is this beautiful term. It's like flow like with the water. It's almost like, you're like seaweed. It's like, I'm But, seaweed could be in the middle of a storm and it's flowing around. You've ever seen it down there. And at the end, the thing quiets, like, yeah, I'm fine. It's being flexible. It's like going with this flow. And then water, you see water, well, it's just flowing down the channel. I mean, you could put like granite. That water will wear it away. It is powerful. It's doing what it's doing, and it seems effortless. It's so powerful, but it doesn't even seem like it's doing. It's like nature in winter. It's not really doing anything right now. No, it's like it is potent. But it's potent in its silence. It's potent in its non-action. It's potent. I mean, sometimes the greatest action we can do is non-action. What do I need to go get busy. I need to do all this stuff. Yeah, well, why don't we maybe sit still and be quiet and use our word and pay attention to spirit? Let the energy of spirit then use us, flow through us, with us, alongside of us, and as us, and find out just how potent we are to move then in energies that feel like we are doing so much and we're not really doing. We're connecting. We're paying attention. We're being aligned. We're being a vibrational match. We're being in harmony with spirit. And then like water, when we're connected and all that energy, and when we're really paying attention, going, I'm going to make sure that I give enough time every day that I'm attentive to that aspect of me, that enlivened of the subtle energies of the heavenness of me, as well as this whole place of earth, so that I'm so aligned. And then with all that energy, it's just like water. You just move down a channel, and so potent. But it feels like we're not doing hardly anything. We're just moving along. Yeah. So it's the beauty of movement, what seems like non-movement, and energy that seems like non-energy, and the truth and the effective and efficacious action that seems like it's non-action. And it comes when we align ourselves with the divine, when we're just in that harmonic state, when our vibration matches with heavenly vibration. And then, boy, it increases. And just one note, I have to say, when you read about this stuff, and I align with this stuff, and I know there's so many millions of examples, but one of the best examples is musicians. When all our musicians here, the three of them, when they get in that line with the music, and it almost feels like, I'm just breathing, and look what's happening. And it's just, and there's work to put the song together, no doubt. But it's even being in that flow when these lyrics and this music and the sound comes out. And so I'm going to end with a bit of gratefulness for great music today, and grateful for all of you, and grateful for healing, grateful for people who've put out healing vibes, and maybe even end on, I sense there's plenty of things in our community, different people who've asked for prayers for different things. And I know when Shari asked for prayer, there was a lot of names that came up. Did you notice that? There's a lot of need for healing right now, I think, and transformation and assurance of the good. So let's just take a deep breath and know the truth of that the way we bring this healing, the way we bring this aliveness, the way that we can resonate out and vibrate this healing energy that's so assured is just align ourselves, even with a simple breath, to the truth of our nature, to the truth that we live in this plane materiality, but also at the same time in the plane of heaven, the healing energy of heaven. Not later, not when we die, now, right now. That's our truth. That's our truth. Okay. Mm-hmm.
I don't have my stone with me today, but my white stone has Wu Wei in the flow of unfolding. So, wow, that's fun. Let's see. So, thank you very much. We appreciate you so much. Yes. So we've reached the time in our togetherness today in our service where we get to practice our abundance, that we are. We're always grateful for your generosity. And so if you want to take your gift in your hand and affirm to yourself or out loud, I give freely and joyfully, for God is my source, and I have abundance in all areas of my life. Let's say our offertory blessing together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you.
Another day comes shining down for you and me, where Quo Cam Quotient smiles over the sailor's sea. Come and look at the island, we got an orchis view. So much to feel here, so much to do. We got the ebb and flow. Let it flow my way. Ooh, they come and they go slowly. Never I'll fade away. You wanna live life freely. Let it some took to the highlands and dry lands, others the sea, some to the valleys, and there's you and me. Oh, we love that shoreline and a life living here. We got the midnight song on the midnight air. We got the ebb and flow. Let it flow my way. They come and they go slowly. Never I'll fade away. You wanna live life freely. Let it be. Oh, let it be. We got the ebb and flow. Let it flow my way. They come and they go slowly. Never I'll fade away. You wanna live life freely. Let it be.
That's great. Did you? Did you change that song for today? Did you just change that song for today? That sounded like it went with everything really well. We are so grateful for these gifts. So much gratitude from deep in our hearts. The heart behind the heart resonates with the truth that we grow as a community. We grow in love. We expand in love. And we are not only here for each other, but we're here for our city and for our county. We're here for peace on the earth. And so we bless these for the work of Unity of Bellingham, the ministries of Unity of Bellingham, what they are, and all the potentiality that they can still be and are going to be and are becoming and are in the flow of becoming. We bless these gifts. We know they bless us on our journey, a journey of the good of heaven unfolding into our community. We are so grateful. And we bless Unity Worldwide Ministries. We bless unity in the whole world. And we pray for peace on the earth. So it is. Good things are happening. You might have noticed there's part of the roof is new when you came in. We'll talk about that in a minute. But here's some announcements. We have a really special guest. Actually, what is today? The 26th? Next week. David MacArthur's coming. Unity Reverend David MacArthur. He's part of the whole heart math movement. And if you don't know about heart math, it's very much, it is kind of what you would think. It's like understanding the truth of the power of what our hearts, if you will, can do, the energies and the knowledge and the thinking capacity of our hearts, working in conjunction with our brains, if you will, to really be alive and understanding. And it is a way to understand spirituality from a very practical and powerful way. And in heart math is something that's been in Unity for a long time. David MacArthur is a heart math. He's part of the Institute. Unity has a seat at this table, and it's an incredibly important part of our movement. It's important for the world. So next Sunday, invite friends, come and hear David MacArthur. And then after the talk Sunday, and you get to know him, I think he's probably going to have some books to sign because he has a few books. And then the following Wednesdays, the next 2 Wednesdays, on Wednesday night Zoom, he's going to be doing a workshop. You can sign up for his workshop on the table outside, and I can't wait. Heart math is great stuff. We also have another way to sign up is if you want to be a member, or if you just want to come and say, I haven't done some Unity basics for a while, sign up also, because right after in the end of February and into March, we're doing a Unity basics class. And it's a great class if you want to be a member. And then you go, well, why would you want to be a member? Because you get to vote. Well, whatever, but do I want to vote? Is that important? Well, I want to suggest this on a very different sort of level of why it makes sense to be a member if we're not a member yet, is because kind of in the talk today, we talked about the power of unified consciousness that makes the difference. As powerful as we are as individuals, when we come together and join our voices and join our energies and join our hearts and join our love and join our consciousness in community, that is potent stuff. And spiritual traditions have always known this. And Jesus said, 2 or more, gather in my name, gather in the name of the I am consciousness, and watch what happens. So part of being a member is, there's a piece in the bylaws and you get to vote, and that's well and good, and that's important, no doubt. But even more important, be a member so we feel like we said yes to this spiritual community, yes to the ministry and mission, yes, I want to play in that field of consciousness. Let's go. Let's say yes to that and trust in spirit and then lean back into spirit and watch with that wu-wei energy, if you will, that energy that says, watch what happens when we flow as a community, and the power of effortless effort that just really transforms lives, transforms our own lives, and transforms our community as our community. So anyhow, I think it'd be good to be a member. So if you're not, you want to be, this is the class to take, or at least take as many as you can. And then for the new members meeting, for our annual meeting in March, we will welcome you as a new member. Deeper Meanings is back. George is going to be on the 3rd Sunday of each month. What we're going to do, and it starts February 19th, is after service, we're going to continue with our Deeper Meaning series. And I don't know what we're going to start with just yet. Maybe with wisdom literatures, I think, where we're going. there's so much. It's so good, and it's really leaning back into the teachings of the Fillmores and metaphysics and understanding of metaphysics and unity principles. We're calling it. Okay, deeper means unity principles. And then the chaplain today is Helga. And by the way, if even if you can go see for a moment of prayer with Helga in the room. Here's our chaplain room. We should put a sign on the door now, or or a flower or something. But even if you don't want to pray, I don't know why you wouldn't want to, but even if you don't, you can still just go check out the room. It's happening. It's being transformed, and our space is coming. Also, Cheryl wasn't even supposed to be here as our accompanist today. Thank you for filling in at the last minute, and just I don't know. We go to her Spotify channel and listen to some jazzy music. So just a little plug for Cheryl. If you're a Spotify member, she's got a great channel on Spotify. We've been listening to Cheryl on Sunday afternoons for our jazz. Oh yeah, it's good stuff. So thank you for that. Russ, you had something you want to say. I think this microphone's live. Yeah, sure. Yes, must use a mic.
First off, it never ceases to amaze me how our Sunday morning service coalesces around a topic when the various parts maybe didn't know how this was going to happen. A synchronicity, for sure. And so with that in mind, I'm announcing a launching that will be on Fridays from 6 to 7 here weekly for those that are interested in or have ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorder. And I can attest to the fact that support in a group experience can make all the difference. So if you live with somebody that has that, you have it yourself, or you're just curious about the miracle that we call in ADHD land, if you gather on the same day, at the same place, at the same time, we call that a miracle.
Thanks, Russ. And we're so happy, and in so many ways, there's so much community building, healing, and transformation that goes on and within these roofs, these four walls, and under this roof. It's really an amazing place, but let's always remember that Unity of Bellingham is more than these walls, and we're here in the community. And finally, we want to be sure that I have to introduce this just right. We all know that there has been a hole in the roof, and a new roof is coming. And so, to talk about our new campaign related to a hole in the roof and raising the roof of our consciousness, I introduce, who's here? Jay Scott and Jane.
Need a couple volunteers to hold this. Woohoo. Thank you.
So we're waiting for some music.
Okay.
Maybe we're
Drippity
having
drop, drip, drip, drippity drop.
Well, the roof is leaking and the rain's falling on my head.
Drip, drip, drippity drop.
Well, the roof is leaking and the rain's falling on my head.
Drip, drip, drippity drop.
I cried so hard, teardrops on my bed.
Drip, drip, drippity drop.
So, Jay Scott and I are part of the, what do we call our committee?
Raising the roof.
Well, there's another committee, but anyway.
Movers and shakers.
Movers and shakers, okay. So,
We're here to introduce the Raise the Roof campaign. In 2014, while the church was being painted, Jim Thackler and Russ Erickson noticed a soft spot on the west roof. 2 years ago, a leak over the sanctuary windows, you can kind of see some damage to the rock, sheetrock up here, was noticed on this south roof. So a tarp was put over the south sanctuary roof to keep the water out, and that tarp has been up there for 2 years. That was a clear indicator that we needed to replace our roof. In the meantime, the church went through the process of advertising for a new minister and selecting Reverend Frank Castro-Wehr.
Now, people, this business about the leaking roof is not just our problem. All kinds of people have this problem. Famous people have this problem. The Beatles have this problem. Maestro, music, please.
So roof contractors were contacted to submit bids to replace the roof. Mount Baker Roofing was selected. Their bid is $61,000 to resheet, reshingle the whole roof, replace the gutters, and the skylights. Our hope is that the whole roof will not need to be resheeted, thus saving us a few $1,000s. In the process of writing the bid, Mount Baker Roofing did an inspection of the building. They found 3 additional areas that needed to be repaired. The outside siding of the southeast corner of the sanctuary is totally rotted out and needs to be replaced. Sections of the fascia boards that hold the gutters need to be replaced. The siding of the northeast corner above the entryway roof needs to be replaced. It's all rotted out. The repair of these 3 areas are beyond the $61,000 Mount Baker Roofing expects it will take to replace our roof.
Now, for you people with pet dogs, if we get this money that we're going to be talking about raised, your pets will be safe because they're not going to be needed to do the woofing.
We have the money in our savings to pay for the roof, but that will leave our savings account with a depleted balance. The board has come to the congregation and received approval to secure a loan to help cover the cost of the roof and still keep our savings intact. The board is still in the process of securing that loan. So the Raise the Roof fundraising campaign is designed to pay for the 3 additional areas that need to be repaired, and with the money left over to pay down on the principal of the loan to reduce the amount of interest we will pay for the loan. With approval from the board, the Movers and Shaker Committee decided the Raise the Roof fundraising goal is $25,000. We can celebrate the fact that a little more than $10,000 has already been donated by members and friends of Unity Bellingham.
Woohoo, yay, thank you, thank you, thank you.
So So you can see on our poster that we already have the shingle to show the $10,000 that have been raised. All right, that leaves $15,000 to raise.
People, only 15,000. It used to be 61,000 that she was talking about, but because of the way the funding's been handled, now it's only 15,000. So, some of you are single, and if all of this goes right, you won't have to be doing any of the shingling.
Okay. So this is another opportunity to practice the abundance of who we are. So we affirm all the good of life is flowing in us, around us, and expressing through us. Our spiritual center needs your help in replacing the original roof, which is 35 or plus years old. And you have seen that the roof has already been started. It's wonderful to look at the new roof, isn't it? All right, so every member of the church and a few friends is asked to give what you can to help pay for the repairs and the replacement. So to put it into perspective for your budget, okay, the amount needed to raise the $15,000 is $300 per member or friend. We're estimating about 50 people at $30 a week for 10 weeks. So our campaign is going for 10 weeks. So every contribution toward the Raise a Roof campaign is appreciated. If you're not able to give the $300, give what you can. No amount is too small or too big. All is welcome. Also, remember that while we are raising our physical roof, we are also raising our consciousness of faith, abundance, service, and potential. There are many ways you can donate. First, you can go online and go to our donate page at www.unitybellingham.org. Choose Give to the Raising Roof and follow the steps there. Second, you can write a check to the Unity Bellingham and mail it to P.O. Box 29258, Bellingham, Washington 98228. And last, you can give in person. So let's have fun for 10 Sundays, walking, dancing, or moving any way you want up to the platform to place your donation into this little house. All right, J. Scott, put it down. Okay, here's what he's going to do next. All you have to do is raise the roof.
When this old world starts getting me down and people are just too much for me to face.
People, you can feel this way if you donate.
To the top of the stairs and all my cares just drift right into space. On the roof it's peaceful as can be. And there the world below can't bother me.
Yeah, on the roof. How fun is that? That is real
Go out and shine. Come on, stand up. Go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine, yeah. Go out and shine. Step out and take a chance. Walk the talk, join the dance. Relax, enjoy the ride. Let kindness be your guide. You're gonna go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You're gonna go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. One voice, one hand, one heart. Wanna change, make a start. We're one big family. What's good for you is good for me. You're gonna go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You're gonna go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. One more time. Go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You're gonna go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Woo! Yeah.
All right, let's stay standing and do our prayer for protection. And we do include everyone, everywhere. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. So let's go ahead and make a circle, and you can hold hands or hold hands over. And we're going to be singing
I choose love.
I Choose Love.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One tie that binds us that can't be undone. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One loving family sharing one son. I choose love. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One choice unites us. Let this be the one. I choose love. I choose love. I choose love.
right.